Don't just, don't say that you're not special, Owen. You very much are. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Very much looking forward to this. Austria, 100%. It is one of my favorite tracks. I think for the Championship 5, it's one of their favorite tracks as well. I would hope so, because otherwise, they might struggle a little bit with this track here, and especially with a 100% race, 71 laps. I don't think there's a track on the calendar that has more laps than this one. Oh, Monaco, of course. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everybody. There's lots of things we should do. I mean, I keep getting pestered for 100% of France with no rules as well, so that might happen next season. You never know. But yeah, track selection, Austria. I kept it hidden away from the world for 5 months, would you believe? And here we are now. I think, Owen, you knew. Austin, I think you might have known as well a couple of weeks ago. But 100%, nobody saw that one coming. A few people might have thought about it this morning, but here we are now, ready to go, ready to crown a third different champion in 3 seasons, so looking forward to it. I'll leave that one for Austin. Some of us have meant to be directing the drivers to ready up, and I forgot to do it. So
there we go.
There had to be a hitch of some kind today.
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult to say. I mean, all 5 of them are incredibly strong, and we know JACKOCAR as the league that can throw up quite a few surprises along the way. But looking at their form, looking at their wins, looking at their top 5s, looking at all of the stats, the points, everything, laps led, I think by far the favorite would be Khalifa. Arno probably a close second, but I think Khalifa might be the one to beat here. But you can't count out Janel. He's only had 7 races this season. Everyone else has participated in all 16. But he has the best form. In the last 6 races, no one has been better than him. So I'm not sure ultimately that Janel has no chance here. I think Janel, Khalifa, and I would give some, obviously, outsider chances for Kyle and Corey, but they need something to happen. And it's Austria, and it's JACKOCAR, which means there's a high chance something will happen.
Yeah, Pete actually did a very good job on condensing that down to just 10 minutes. It's quite impressive, if anything. Indeed, he's done a good job all season. And of course now, he's out quite late in qualifying today, the Season 1 champion. But another season goes by without a race win, without another championship. They'll be looking forward to next season. But certainly Canada, as you say, what a mess. Hopefully Austria is a bit more normal, if you will. But we just don't know. Khalifa, by the way, you say he finished P8 in that race. He had the wheel disconnection at the start, which put him down to P20 and recovered to P8. So if he gets himself in the top 8 and doesn't have any problems at the start, he could very well be in with a shout of the title. he told me to keep that one quiet. He said, I'll finish the season for you, Jacko. He said this last week after he rage quit, but keep 2 things secret. The first one, don't tell anyone I'm racing, because he said he'd left. And the second one, keep this a secret from Owen. Don't tell anyone I'm going to be in the Lotus. And here he is. So he's going to be excited to hear your reaction. But outgoing champion Owen, I mean, must be said, he had a poor start to the regular season. He sort of come to form. He won the first 2 races of the first playoff round, and it just sort of fell apart for him and the rest of it. I'm not really sure what happened, but he missed out by a few points at the end to Corey. So he won't be able to defend his title. That is a record that will keep on going. No driver has defended or had the chance even to defend their title. And this will be his last qualifying as the champion, at least for now. Oh, and bad news, and Austin. Apparently nobody can hear you. You too, they can hear me. Sorry, folks. Owen's blaming the PS5. What a shambles this is, boys. I do apologise. Doesn't it just, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll commentate on the rest of Jamie's lap. No one... the man who won the Kia Series title just 2 days ago in that 15 car. Can you hear Owen now?
I mean, I hope I can be heard because my voice has been on allowed to be shared always, so I don't know why they couldn't hear me. I hope it works now.
Can you hear Austin? What? It does. Jamie, if you're listening, I know you are. Owen loved your livery. Austin, the audience can hear you. That's just Owen. Apparently you need to unmute your mic.
I need to unmute my mic.
No, just Owen.
Oh, okay. Good.
I can hear you. No. Everyone's saying still no Owen. Don't worry, you're not missing much, folks. It's Jacko and Austin check. By the way, SD set a 103.4. Jordan comes in on the return to the Cup Series of a 105.0. Next up is Gazzaman, Gary Armstrong in the infamous 96 car, running a One Hub Racing Purple. What do you think of this one, Owen? Austin.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I think you would call me a One Up Racing alumnus, I guess. And so I very much like that livery. One thing I've noticed, by the way, on J. Luke's lap, is that he missed the apex in turn 3, which we really should just consider turn 2, but we don't for whatever reason. And so I think there is still a little bit to be gained here for some of the other drivers if they do get turn 3 a little bit better. Yuri certainly will not be one of those drivers, as he has invalidated, so there's no way he will set a lap time here. I think that was in turn 1, considering he's only in the middle sector right now, but the next one will then be Baza, who's about to start a line.
Yeah, you're right, Baza. Okay, we'll let the audience see if they can hear you. Can you hear Owen? Jack Gooding saying that engines... Yeah, okay. Every cloud, right? We had a lovely build-up as well, good solid 6-7 minutes of talking, and unbelievable. You know what, Austin, seeing as Owen's irrelevant at this point in time, there's been 3.5 hours of build-up today, no issues whatsoever, and it's Owen who's come in and ruined everything for us.
Yeah, I mean,
this is our Super Bowl, and it's gone down the pan.
Look, I mean, Baz into the final quarter. He took turn 1 very, very cautiously indeed. Made sure he was not going to invalidate there, and I think you see it there with the time 1 second down, over a second down on J. Luke there, which tells me really that turn 1 he took it so cautiously. He lost probably about at least half a second just from that, and that really explains that difference there. As let me just quickly compare the first sectors here. Actually, Kamababo not doing too badly. If we look after 2 sectors, still not doing too badly. I mean, this could challenge definitely at least for P3. If he gets it done, if he doesn't invalidate here in the final corner, this might be commentator's curse, never mind. He did get it through. This is probably... he actually took it cautiously there in the final sector, but still P3.
Good lap for Kamababo. Last race and this race now, certainly at qualifying, he's almost back to his speedy ways that he was at the end of Season 2. As we move now to Dexter.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm spotting something here on the timing tower. One of our Championship 5, and I hope this changes, but one of the Championship 5 right now, Jano, is on the full wet tyre.
He'll change that. Hello, folks. You will be able to hear me now, I'm sure of it. Oh, sorry about that. Mics were all... I had to reset everything. It's teething problems, but, yes.
Audience, can you hear Owen at this point, please?
Just say yes, people. Matt Kane
Just
has
yes,
screamed my name in all caps. That's not confirmation. Tell me you can hear me, for goodness sake.
Don't be so indecisive with your decisions, Matthew.
For goodness sake.
You like that, did you?
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, I agree with Jack's sentiment there. We can hear Owen.
Right, where were we? Risky Racer, hello. I believe we're with him, aren't we? He's the latest one on the lap. He's brought back his usual
Okiki has invalidated, so
yes.
Risky is the next one, yes.
Yeah. Owen, for the benefit of Jamie, what did you think of his livery?
Beautiful. I've seen works of art before. I've seen works of art before, but I missed it a lot. In the time it's been away, and actually, I'm getting quite emotional about it. But listen, look, we'll move on from that because Rescue's on a lap at the minute, and nothing will be able to match the livery. Let me just say it. But this one, pretty decent. and hopefully you can get a good lap time with it. I'm having to say all the hellos, by the way. Good evening, welcome along. It is JACKOCAR Cup Series. 7 minutes to go on qualifying. Thank goodness this didn't happen in the race itself, as Risky goes P4.
Good lap of Risky, yeah, well done. Up next, Pete Knighton.
Chapter 5.
Yeah, first sector 16, pretty decent. I mean, he's not going to challenge Jamie for the top spot right now, but if he keeps that up through the final 2 sectors, then he might be able to get really close to what Kamababo and Risky have been doing here with the 1 minute 4.0, who were just 1 millisecond between those two. So very, very close to indeed. What can Pete Knighton do in the middle sector? 44.3. Hold on a second. He might be... Oh, whoa. Hold on. This might actually challenge J-Luke and Isimas. That middle sector was stellar. Little slide there through the penultimate corner. That might hurt him. I think it will be P3, although it's getting really close to the line, but it is P3 ultimately.
Good lap for Pete. Again, a man who next season needs to come back and start challenging towards the front again. Almost had that amazing chase run, but Janel just beat him to it, along with Kieran as well by a couple of points. So, speaking of Kieran.
Yes, here he is. Mr. Spears. Actually, I'll think of more puns for you at some point today, but unfortunately he's now out of contention. He was the leader of the chase for such a long time, but unfortunately for him, Janel was just there too many races, I guess, because I think we said it already, if he, as he goes P1, had started the season, he probably could have been in this playoffs. And Janel, I guess, if he did the whole season, he would have been there as well. It's just a case of who did more races, and I think... yeah, in the end, it all fell apart for Kieran. He had too many accidents, but still, he's going to try and have a good performance today. He's gone P1, always a good sign. And here's everyone's favourite driver, Cam. I think he's changed that livery again, hasn't he? He loves changing this livery format, and we've got another banger. He's certainly having a good time with it.
Not sure how many times Cam has changed the livery. There is rules on it, believe it or not. Yeah.
I mean, this is race number 17 of the season, right?
Correct. And race number 50 of the Cup Series all time as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cam has possibly changed his livery 17 times then this season.
We know he liked the orange and purple at the start, didn't he? Yeah. Good lap there, P5. Next up, Iceman.
Well, this is the last irrelevant.
Oh, this is a strong middle sector from him. He's a 10th up on Kieran here. He might get the provisional pole position at the very least. Iceman needs to get the final 2 corners right. That looks a lot tidier than Kieran did it. And is it faster as well? Yellow flag there, but that should... Oh, it does hurt him. 0.03 of a second down, and that is 2 positions. That's how close it is here. Now we're getting into the Championship 5. We're starting off with Janel into turn 1. He's not taking too many risks. I think he could have gone a little bit faster there. He won't be happy with that first corner. I think we'll see a 16 split, 16-0 maybe. Oh, actually 15-8. Wow. I was expecting quite a bit more there. So, good run for him now in the first sector. Second sector looking good so far. That hairpin really nailing that one, not too far off. That might be the way to go. Good on the apex here in turn 4 as well. 5 obviously pretty easy as it's flat out 6. Oh, gets a little bit on the grass. You don't want to do that. So turn in a bit too early. 7 misses the apex just a little bit. Not too much there lost, but this is going to be really, really tight.
Here he comes, last 2 corners. Just as this is happening, the sky's getting very dull. Looking for any rain at the end. This could spoil the other lap. This is going to be a massive one for Janel. Here he comes. Only P4. 6/100ths of a second off P1. As we said, expected to be close, but look at it. The sky's got so dull. These laps might get interrupted by some rain here. Here is Kyle heading through.
And Kyle, by the way, coming to the Championship 5 last season as the favourite. This season, he's only 5th favourite. If you go based on the stats. Around the final corner for Kyle, what can he do? The man who drives the 47 car up to the line, it's pole for now.
Do you know what? He's had a few poor qualifyings in the last few weeks. He really needed to show up, so then he has done.
He has showed up.
Oh, Corey has invalidated. He has cut that first corner. Well,
too early.
What a shame. Such a beautiful livery as well, but that's bad news for him. Although, it's still getting darker, so I wonder if the other two are going to be able to take advantage. Here's Arnold first. Is he running the same livery as Corey?
No, this is a new livery.
Oh, as in the same livery, same livery concept as Corey. I mean,
it's Corey, yes.
Except it's not in a million pieces down at turn 3 as Corey's car is. We're right on board with Arnold up into turn 1. Let's say, look up at any rain, and I don't know if the track's going to get any story, just being dull, but we'll keep an eye on the time. There are 5 drivers within 6/100ths of a second. It'd be pretty impressive if we can get into that group. And it is relatively similar time to what sort of Janel was doing, and he sort of had a little mistake, and that's a mistake as well. As he loses the rear end through the exit of turn 3, now it's the blast towards turn 4. They cannot afford the mistakes. There's not only 600s between that first and fifth, but then it's only a 1/4% between first and seventh. If you do lose time, it could potentially cost you up to 7 positions. You really do not want that when you're fighting for this championship. And right now, Carl, the only one in the championship 5, he's actually in the top sort of front row at the minute. I would have expected at least 2 on there. Got to get both of them on there. Don't get an outsider in there. Alright's got to take advantage as he comes through.
That's a Kyle, wasn't it?
It wasn't brilliant.
It's raining. P6 or P7.
It is raining.
Yep, the first raindrops are coming down.
Might cost Khalifa. It doesn't cost Arnold.
No, how in the world did you pull that off?
Well, he only had 2 corners to deal with the rain. Khalifa's got a little bit more than that, but he's still purple in the middle sector. It's not raining enough to cause massive problems. If he still had a good first and second sector, Khalifa might still be okay. Oh, he's invalid. He had a slide. And that's going to be Khalifa starting all the way down in P16. Arnold's on pole for the Championship 5.
It would have been a 103's dead. It would have been pole position for Khalifa.
Yeah, by a distance as well. What a shame. But the rain there, I guess it sort of spoiled his lap. Maybe it didn't rain, wouldn't have had that slide. But that is 2 of the Championship 5. Corey, the race winner here earlier in the season, and Khalifa, who's been so dominant in the early stages and won last week.
Wow.
And, well, it's Arnold and Kyle's 2 Championship 5 runners on the front row. Janel in 6th. And then there's the rest. We're just waiting for Gaza to retire.
The rest!
Yeah.
The rest. By the way, we like things that come full circle. The first JACKOCAR race we did was Austria test race for Season 2. Kyle won it in the rain. And here we are, the last race on F1 2020 for JACKOCAR Season 3 Championship 5. Kyle, can he win it in the rain? That's if we're going to get rain. What do you think?
Well, first of all, do you reckon that's a new record for the closest top 6?
Yeah,
under
that's
10?
An incredible top 6.
That's very impressive. But let's just quickly do the order. Arnold from Kyle, Kieran, Jamie, Iceman, Janel, Estimats, Pete, Cam, and then Camu Babu. Top 10, not bad for him actually, that. Risky, Gaza, Baza, Dexter, Jordan, Khalifa, don't laugh, because I'll laugh, Corey, OKK, and Yuri. Yes. I was on a timer, Jacko, stop making me laugh.
Sorry. But just to go back to chat, I see Risky in there saying it wouldn't be a Championship 5 race without mic setting problems. He's absolutely spot on.
That's
true.
Remember
Season 1.
That's a good reference.
With Andy.
I understand the reference.
Yeah. Season 2, it was flawless, wasn't it?
Look at this, Jacko. This is...
Yeah.
The same conditions. Well, not raining, but nearly raining. We like that.
It's... I think you could call that grey, couldn't you?
It's a bit grey, yeah. You should be able to see that in crisp 1080p. Let me know if that's working okay in the chat, because if the mic's not working, Galdas was going to be happening with the rest of it.
Good job, the viewers. They come for the show. They didn't come for the audio, thankfully.
They come for the 1080p. They're not coming for audio or the show. They're just going for the resolution.
Saying that, thank you for voting me best commentator of the season. I do appreciate it. Shame about the photograph, but it's my photo. Should have just taken a picture of the cat.
Shouldn't have sent it to me.
The cat or something, you know. But well.
Well. It's all good.
It's quite exciting, this, isn't it? No one's ready up. I'm sort of worried that we've lost the lobby.
No, I think everyone's waiting until... Oh, I thought everyone's waiting until Dexter, the lobby host, ready's up, but maybe that rule doesn't exist here.
No, not here.
We don't have any rules.
Go whenever they want.
Okay, then I have another theory. With everyone waiting so long to ready up, they got stumped by the weather forecast for this race.
That's a nice show. Now, there's one hub race, and that is the league that has that rule, isn't it? And yes, I did get the PS5. Thanks for the reminder. Although I did have it in my basket already, but I still appreciate you looking out for me, lads. And that's what you're watching the stream on. So do say as well, even though you're the inferior league, Jacko, it's Jacko that says that's not me. I like you. But anyway. Let's have a look at the tyres, shall we? Because there's nobody on Jokers tonight. It's a mandatory 2-stop. Once again, not going to mention where that one comes from. But only 3 drivers on mediums. Unsurprisingly, 2 of those are the Championship 5 drivers, Khalifa and Corey, and the other one being OKK. The rest all starting on the softs. I wouldn't expect anyone on the hards unless there's some sort of accident, or if rain changes strategy to the point where you'd need a long hard stint towards the end. But yeah, I really cannot even start to predict this one because we've got 71 laps of this. We've never done this before.
And we've got drivers out of position as well. Khalifa and Corey coming through from the back. Don't forget, Corey won the race in March. Khalifa recovered from, well, P20 at turn 1 to finish 8th in March. Janel, we've never seen Janel race here in JACKOCAR. And then you've got Kyle seemingly back on form, and Arnold who's always up there, but Kyle's going to push him all the way. And then you've got the likes of Kieran and J-Luke and Iceman. They're all very, very fast drivers. So I can't call it. Stats go out the window with stuff like this.
They're asking for the weather in the chat. Guess what? We don't know. We're not going to tell you. We never like to know. It makes it more fun to watch when we don't know the weather.
Yeah, what we can tell you, however, is the tyre life on these tyres very quickly before the driver starts. So the soft tyres lost 32 laps, which tells you where this is going with the mandatory 2-stop. The mediums last 42, and the hards last 52. So very, very in unity. They're always ending in 2. Pit stop lost 18 seconds in the pit lane, and the medium tyres will be 0.8 seconds a lap slower at the start. But of course, that will go on over the course of the race. But with the tyres lasting as long as they do here, yeah, we're going to see 2 stints on the softs, 1 stint on the mediums. So for Khalifa, Corey, and Okiki, I mean, unless, we get safety cars so early that maybe another stint on the mediums or the hards might be worth it to get the pit stops.
So here we go then. It is season 3, it's the 50th race of JACKOCAR Cup Series, and it is the 3rd Championship 5. All 5 lights are on. Arnold on front row, Kyle on side, and boogity boogity boogity. Let's go racing in Austria. Good start from Arnold. He's going to be well clear. Look at Janel, one of the championship contenders. He's got to be careful in turn 1. He's cut the corner. He's made a couple of positions, so a few cars off wide. Some debris flying up. I don't think that's from any other contenders. Janel up to P4. He's slipstreaming alongside Iceman. How aggressive is he going to be up towards turn 3? Will he go up the inside of Kieran? Kieran, similar to what he did last week in Canada, hasn't quite worked out, and we've got a few cars
damage
in
for
trouble.
Khalifa. Damage for Khalifa, safety car.
He'll have a chance to change
damage
that front lane.
Khalifa.
Obviously, you can't put on a safety car unless the damage is enough, and I think it should be.
And according to TAS, he has 100% on the left front end plate there, so Khalifa will be able to hit here.
That is huge damage, but it's a huge. It's ironically, obviously, a huge advantage. Although, will that advantage be as big as a 100% race? I don't know. Let's wait and find out. But that's Khalifa's mediums, possibly the last we're going to see of them today, so that could work out unbelievably well for him. It's the way it works. Oh well.
It's a total repeat of the season 1. You remember turn 1 and turn 2? He went in hot with Pete and got damage there as well.
Yeah, although this time he didn't go in hot into turn 3 whatsoever. It really was just a bit of a traffic jam in front of him. He braked way earlier than you normally would, but because of the concertina effect there in turn 3 in the braking zone, he just couldn't do anything about it. Ran into the back of the car in front, which was, I think, if I saw that correctly, I don't even know. No, well, no, I think oh, good question. I don't even know.
Yeah, it doesn't say on the race director or anything, it just seems to have happened. Oh, we got 3 in the pits actually, that's good if you're
Yuri's
Gaza.
the other one there.
Yeah, so Gaza might well get ahead of both of them here, because he was already ahead of Khalifa when he came in. As you can see, Khalifa leaves behind, and then you'll have Yuri at the back. Khalifa and Gaza going for mediums again. Yuri on the softs, and like I said, they should be able to catch up to the safety car probably by the end of the next lap, so we should be able to go racing again at the end of lap 3. I think it's 6 different safety car slots you'd get on a 100% race, isn't it?
Yeah.
6 or 7, is it?
Well,
I think it's 6. It's 5. It's 5 on 50%. It's 6 on 100%.
And we know too well about how many we get in those 50% races. We used up all 6 of them last week, or all 5 of them. Sorry. like I say, it was one of those mental races. You're never going to get another one like it.
I'll tell you what, I remember at the start of that, just before the light sequence came on, I said to you, anything can happen, and it usually does, and handed over to you, and then
I turned around.
Followed.
I turned around and says, "This has got all the ingredients of a normal league race."
Yeah.
By the end of it, yeah, maybe not. Maybe a little run. Like, Corey's lost some positions. I don't know if that's just my game being a bit slower, if I'm just noticing that. But yeah, just setting battles and Jordan passed him, but he didn't. I'll ignore that. What I'll do in the meantime, actually, is check who's made the most positions.
Oh, there's other cars coming into the pit lane. Okiki is coming in. Must have damage, I would assume.
Has to be damage, or else it's an illegal pit stop. There's a new front line out there for him, but let's have a...
only 51% on TAS.
Ooh.
Could well be illegal.
Oh dear. Come on, give me.
Of course, 50% red is the requirement, or 100% orange.
I mean, he's such a terrible season.
Yeah, I think he can't wait for this one to end.
Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt on this one, you know? We've already... Oh, he's binned it.
Oh,
he saved it.
Don't do that, Michael.
Yeah, well, he's just about to save it.
Had to come in again.
Yeah. Well, that's a lucky escape. Still looking for that victory, isn't he, this season? This could maybe be a catalyst towards it if he can catch the back of that safety car train, which he should be able to do before it goes in. I'm expecting it in at the end of the
for sure. For sure.
Just to understand about drivers who made the most positions, it is Corey who has done that. He's made 3. Everyone else who's made positions, it was either 2 or 1. And yes, the safety car is in this lap. And like I say, Janel, as I was watching, you were watching the accidents, he was trying to get by Kieran for P3. He had a very aggressive start actually in the end. Hoping he can continue that because he can see his championship rivals ahead. This is like I say, ironically, the most simple race of the season. Just finish ahead of your rivals. Don't worry about stage points, they don't exist. Don't worry about jokers, they aren't here. Just beat the drivers in front of you like it's a normal league race and you win.
Points.
Simple as.
Yeah. Points don't matter.
Arnold's away.
Drivers are on.
That's going to hold Janel.
As Arnold gets going.
Sorry to interrupt, but Janel, he is going to get held up because Kieran was not on the ball there. No one really was. I think Arnold's absolutely nailed that. And at least Iceman all over the back of Janel. How aggressive is he going to be? They've made a second on Jamie, mind you, so there are people who've lost even more time. Cam side by side with Camo with the turn 1. And let's hope they keep it all clean this time. Corey up to P12 now, and we've got a bit of side by side going on there. We've got 3 wide, further behind. That is Khalifa just ahead of all that, but they're all going to be on the back of him. Let's hope none of them hit him. And is that Yuri going at the inside? It is indeed. Khalifa stays ahead. He was down in these sort of positions last week in Canada, and he still won the race from there. So he's looking for another inspired drive this week. But at the front, Arnold 1.2 clear.
Yeah, it was a great restart that got him there. 1.2 seconds after less than a lap right now. This is just truly remarkable. However, Kyle working to get him back into range. And of course, looking at the skies, the rain might be coming anytime soon as well. Currently, no raindrops out on the track, but I can assure you, once I will stay on the TV pod cameras for all drivers, which means I will be probably the first one to see the first raindrop come down, and I will yell when I see that.
At least you've worked out your calling in like Boston. It's good of you to do that for us. The weatherman, if you will.
Yes.
That gap between Arnold and Kyle has just been extended to 1.4 now. And Janel struggling to get past Kieran. The DRS is opened up to the drivers, but he has gapped himself to Iceman. So Janel actually now looking at the back of Kieran and is going to make the move into P3. Can he make it stick?
No.
No, he can't for the moment.
That was a waste of not only ERS but time to Kyle. I don't know why he's done that before DRS is enabled, because he would get by much easier with the DRS.
Not really, because Kieran will also have the DRS.
Well, exactly. Kieran will be all over Kyle, because Kyle doesn't have the DRS, so he'll have a much easier time.
Okay,
we know Kieran's nice and aggressive, sometimes to his detriment, but we know he'll give it a go. He's got wide. That might cost him a little bit. Here's Janel again, but he wasted his ERS on the end of the last lap, so he didn't have anything to have a run up the hill, but he'll still try. Well, he doesn't get close enough. That's costing him. He's gone wide now. Missed the apex. Iceman not close enough to take any advantage of it.
No
Kieran,
DRS for Kieran.
Yeah, not using the DRS. I guess he wasn't within the detection point. Won't be within the next one either. As Janel goes down the inside, leaves that off a little bit so that he can get the next dose of DRS, and he should be able to pull away from Knight, and he's up into P3. Let's see how quickly he can get up to the other two. Remember, those two are both Championship 5 contenders, so he's got to pass him if he wants this title in his final ever league race. Iceman all over the back of Kieran now, and it's all getting very close, I must say.
Yeah, speaking of getting close, Khalifa now with the move on. Jordan here into turn 4 and makes that 6, so he's moving up the order. Remember, Khalifa already one stop ahead of everyone else in front, so he might have a really good chance here. I think at this point it's difficult to call someone a net leader, but I think Khalifa may actually have that title because it's only 2 seconds between him and Arnaud, who is the leader on track.
Of course, that all depends what he can do with those new medium tyres as well. I'm currently looking at Corey struggling to get past Bazza and Camo Babo at the moment. We expected him to make a bit more progress seeing as the outright pace that he's got, but he's just sort of stalled out in P12 for now.
Look at Kieran, he's on the back of Janel once again, and Janel's not been able to get anywhere near the back of Kyle. Jamie as well is passing in the background. Kieran backs off. Jamie will be all over the back of that before long, we know what he's like. And yeah, Janel not really got the pace of it. I notice Kyle Arnaud does seem really in control. Obviously, as we say, Khalifa does have quite the strategic advantage. What is this gap actually at the moment? Because obviously track, evolution, etc., and the field spread.
10.2 right now between Arnaud and Khalifa. 10.2 and under 2 seconds to Corey. So right now he's driving in a bit of clean air, and he's lapping pretty much at the same pace as the leaders, as Arnaud, Kyle, and, well, not so much Janel because he's been battling, of course, with Kieran right behind.
Yeah, so he is in a pretty good position, Khalifa. So Arnaud, he does have good reason to be trying to pull a gap. Let's see what he can do for his first pit stop. Remember, in a 100% race, they were not going to be pitting as early as you used to see in the 50% races. It'll be a lot more deeper into the race. But still, Corey, by the way, is on the back of Bazza. He's going to try on his outside into turn 1. Didn't really get much of a chance to say this because he binned it and invalidated us up. But Corey, this might be the best livery of the season I'm looking at right now. Same with already done the awards and everything. I don't know if we ever actually did a livery award, but we were to do one.
I hate to inform you, I don't know if you saw MK Bourne's livery from Kia finale the other night.
Oh no.
The matte purple with the shiny gold.
You need to show me. I think that's very good. I do think that's very good livery. And I'm the livery's expert. No, yellow flag. There's a purple car. That must be OKK. Who's he's not got a puncture, but he's just going very slowly. He's got half a front wing missing. Yeah, I don't know how his mind is this.
Season continues for Michael OKK, 2-time race winner. 1 win in each of season 1 and 2.
And crawling right now. Painful to watch this. We're going to cut away from that because Kieran's all over the back of Janel still, but it's a bit of a stalemate here at the moment. They're not really doing much. It's maybe Kieran not wanting to get involved in the fight because Janel is now going to get DRS on Kyle on the run to turn 4, so he is slowly getting there, but it just doesn't look very. None of them look like a match for Arnaud.
Oh, he's been hit by Jamie from behind.
That's not going well. Jamie, front wing broken. Kieran, lots of time lost. And that train, well, we're getting used to these big trains, aren't we? Iceman, is he going to get 2 cars into one corner? You bet he is, but can he get it slowed down? No. Kieran will get him on the exit.
Second time Kieran's done that and it's worked out for him, but Iceman's going to save the inside hero in Austin.
Yeah, look at that.
Do it, no contact, they get away with it.
Pete's got a lovely view of this one. Jamie's just falling right down. He'll have to pit with that front wing down. We're just way too big, but we're just looking for any accidents that might happen because of him, because he's going to be on the inside there on the way into the pit lane and quite understeery as well. Just be careful you don't hit anyone. It's Camo Babu looks like he might be about to DC as Fenke's going to Big X. Janel didn't get DRS on the main straight, so he keeps falling outside that zone. And yeah, the fight for 4th, the most entertaining one out there at the minute.
Yeah, currently.
Go on, Austin, go on.
Okay. Currently, yeah, a little bit of a stalemate there between those 4 drivers there, Kieran, and the 3 speed drivers right behind him as Cam has left the session. He was about to close in on that group, but now obviously he's being overtaken here by Camo Babo, who's trying to get connection to that group himself. How long can Kieran keep the 3 speed guys behind? That is the question, I think. Because, I mean, they can work together, not sure they will, but they certainly can work together here to at least get a good result for themselves.
Bigger problem, Corey's now 9th place, and he will be catching that train soon, so they're going to have to worry about him, because once again you've got that dilemma of he's Championship 5, I'd hate to be the one that takes him out, but he will be getting there soon possibly, on those mediums, so he's not going to be wanting to pit anytime soon. And Camo's off to Narnia, will he save it? He's lagging quite a bit, Corey just had to lift off the throttle, but he hasn't hit him, he's up to P8 now.
And that's important for Corey as well. He got past Bazza a few laps ago, and then he had the laggy Camo and the disconnecting cam, 2 cams if you will. But his championship back on course, he's just got to head down now, focus on catch up to the speed boys and get back to the front, which are now, by the way, has extended his lead to 3.1 seconds. He's in control as we are 1/7 of the way through this race.
Sun's coming out.
Yeah. Oh! Camo Babu pretty slow there on the straight. I don't know what exactly happened there, but Khalifa got almost caught off guard by it. Had to swerve to avoid the yellow and red car. Made it past middle of the straight, but that was a little bit of a frightening moment there for Khalifa. Wanted the championship up. I think Camo Babu maybe trying to let him through, but let off the throttle maybe a little bit too much there for Khalifa's liking.
Yeah, Camo, of course, ERT teammates with Khalifa. That might explain that one. But of course, we haven't mentioned it yet. 5 drivers fighting for this title are all ERT drivers, because that's the first time that's ever happened in JACKOCAR.
Yeah, they'll be very much enjoying that one. But like I say, the sun has come out there, so it looks like rain isn't really going to be a factor, at least not now. It might come back later, you never know. But yeah, for now, sun out, get your tan, and we'll see what the racing provides, because at the minute, fortunately the gaps have gone for me for the top 3 drivers, but nothing's changed, I can tell you that much. And nothing's really changing anywhere in the field actually. Kieran is holding on to that P4 quite well. The guys behind, similar ERS, apart from Risky, who's just sort of been saving a lot of it. Corey not really catching, nor is Khalifa, but they are both on the medium compound tyre, so you would expect it would take maybe a while for them to catch, if at all. But yeah, just sort of waiting for something to happen now. Excited. Give us something interesting, please. I beg.
The twist of it being a 100% race is going to favour certain drivers over others. I know Khalifa is particularly a fan of 100% races. Jano is not. So I don't know, as we get further into this race, will the concentration start to go? Will they start to rack up more penalties, which of course is much more possible, much more likely.
Oh, crash!
Because Iceman has a problem with Kieran.
Wind's gone off for Iceman. Iceman's wind gone. Is Kieran's as well? No, it's not. So that will be Pete going past. Better front line on the track there. They've got to be careful they don't hit that into turn 3, because it is on the racing line. I noticed that a while ago. It's not going away either. Iceman will surely let Risky go. Risky's got quite a lot of ERS to use, and he is using it.
Those boys will all be talking at a party, so that'll all be orchestrated. No problems there. Kieran is very much a sitting duck though, with Pete behind him now.
Well, we'll see what he can do. He wasn't really making much of an impression on Iceman, to be fair, Pete. So we'll see what he does with Kieran. Still waiting for the gaps to come back up. I think it's because Cam keeps leaving and rejoining. He's having his internet problems, unfortunately. Down in P14 at the moment, all on his own. Having been sort of quite close to this fight, actually, wasn't he? He was slowly becoming a factor as Iceman hits a bit of damage. I wonder what Corey's gap is. Is he closed anymore for all that fights in the gap? 1.6, so he is nearly into DRS of those 3. Looks to be big if he can get himself into P4, but the big thing is Khalifa really is looking good. His gap now to the leader is still that 10 seconds. 10.9 now, it's the 2.
He's making a move on Kieran.
Into turn 3 fight. It is Kieran this time having to let that position go. He will get DRS back on him though, Pete. And Pete is not using his ERS down that straight because he hasn't really got any left. But Kieran just did not have enough speed to go for it. Risky did though. He's down the inside trying to make a move, but he isn't able to get through at the moment.
Risky and Kieran fighting on track once again. How many times have we seen that since Kieran joined the league?
I know, it's a weekly feature, isn't it? They're good fun.
Yeah, I think at this point, looking at the times between Arno and Khalifa, I think the medium tires of Khalifa are really coming into shape right now. The gap is up to 11 seconds. Remember, it was about 10 a couple laps after the restart. Now it's back up to 11, but still, it's coming down again. It was at 11.5 at one point, so It's coming down a little bit, and Khalifa might be in pretty good shape here to jump Arnaud after the first pit stops for those that haven't pitted yet.
Right then, so let's sort of see. Janel has now put himself right in this fight for second place. He's got a lot of ERS as well. Kyle's using his to try and stay clear, but feels there's been some sort of a seismic shift there. No wonder Arnold's still at 3 seconds ahead, because Kyle seems to have gone off the pace a little bit.
He's making a move on Kieran. Sorry to interrupt, Owen. Can he make it stick this time? Looks like he can.
Yeah, he can this time.
Job done. Team speed up into 4th and 5th.
Normally Kieran quite a lot resistant into that turn 4 move, but for once he's actually not been able to fight back from it. But like I said, I don't know what happened to Kyle, if he made a mistake or something, but it was just Janel all over him. And it is 3 DRS zones around this track. So once you're in that DRS, I'd be very surprised if you fall out of it. But in that last sector, Janel does seem genuinely slower than Kyle. And on the DRS, not really catching a ton. So yeah, Janel is struggling for general pace right now. Same with Kyle. Arnold's fine, Khalifa's fine. They could be the fight for this win later on. As it stands, I just sort of feel it is those two that are standing out from the crowd.
Do you remember last season in Brazil where Arnold went there to fight for a time when he wasn't aggressive enough? I mean, he's not had to be aggressive so far today, but he's certainly asserted himself as a genuine threat to win the race and win the title. But, as we keep mentioning, that threat of Khalifa down in P8 with a pit stop in hand is all too real at the moment, so Arnold will be looking for something to go his way as the sun starts to get a little bit brighter.
Let's see what Janel's gap now will be at the end of the lap. So it's about 4 tenths when he heads into that last header. He has to lift off in the dirty air through the chicane at 7 and 8, and you can see that's costing him time. But then he closes it back up again. Kyle must be really low on the ERS. So it's about 40%, and Janel's on about 90. If he wants to go for the move, he surely has enough energy to do it. As we see Pete into the pit lane, but I think Janel's going to go for this in a minute. This is as close as he's been all race. And he does have to get the move done at some point. And it's going to be now. Here he goes for second place. Janel on the inside of turn 2. Gets that one done. But Kyle, now as he heads through turn 3, will be able to get this DRS zone. And
Corey's got past Kieran as well, by the way, in the background.
Yep, Corey ahead of Kieran.
Bringing
Khalifa
on the inside.
Yeah, we'll see how Khalifa's getting on. He has just gone through. Seemed aggressive that one, caught it a little bit late, but yeah, he's through. Kyle, does he get close enough? No, so that is Janel's second place.
Yeah, for Khalifa and Corey, it's going to be really important to get past Risky here, because they don't want to be held up. I don't want to say in traffic, but you know the dirty air, you do lose a bit of time from it, and at the pace they were lapping before they caught up to this group here, they are now losing a bit of time to the likes of Arnaud, Janel, and Kyle. Oh, Risky pits!
Oh, Dice got that wrong, hasn't he? I think that was contact. I think that was contact now. I think they've got away with it. They either got very close to contact or there was no contact, but either way.
I think it was very close. There's certainly nothing on TAS.
Yeah.
A couple corners before that happened, Corey just had to get out the throttle. He was virtually sideways, had to save the car.
Here comes Khalifa.
Save his championship, but Khalifa now with a DRS.
Yeah.
He's towards turn 2.
He's going to pull past. By the way, Championship 5, currently the top 5 in the race. Don't know if we've ever actually seen that happen before in a Championship 5 race.
I don't think so.
Sounds bizarre to say it, I know, but it never ends up actually lining up like that, but we've actually managed it before all the pit stops happen, of course, but still. Take your screenshots now, the Championship 5 are in the top 5.
That is, of course, an ERT top 5 as well.
Yes. Very successful team so far this season. They will win the championship. Just which driver will
weren't
be.
even formed when the season began, and
Corey's
gone straight on.
Corey!
No.
Oh, was that a wheel disconnection?
Yeah.
It looked like it. It looked like it.
Look at his wheels messing about, so he must be reconnecting it or something. It does look a bit unnatural. I was saying that Arnold, he's left the session.
Oh.
Good thing I said that when I did, because that was very nearly not Championship 5 in there at all. But that is Corey, the race winner here earlier in the season, out of the championship.
Three of our top 5 are pitting. 3 of our Championship 5 are pitting. Arnaud, Kyle, and Khalifa all in. And that is the second pit stop for Khalifa.
That's soft. That's not going to the end. Okay.
No, he's going to have to make a third stop.
Right.
Does he fancy his chances?
Yeah, he fancies his chances. He knows, doesn't he? He's got the pace to do it.
No,
he's back in the field with everyone else. He's behind Risky. He's behind Pete Knighton. He's of course behind Corey. Who? Hold on. Oh yeah, Corey went off. Of course. I was wondering why is he down. There goes Pete Knighton, boss Corey. Jeez, that was
very
close.
aggressive.
Yeah, Corey's quiet. He doesn't ghost when it leaves the session. I do wonder if he's going to get back, because it did seem this whole game had a bit of a moment there. But at the minute, his champ just fallen in the drain. But as long as he gets a safety car when he rejoins, which is now, he should still have some sort of a chance to hit the run. So don't lose all hope yet, Corey, but it does look a little bit grim, I can't lie. But there goes Risky past you. He's giving you a little bit of a hit.
Oh, Khalifa almost backed up.
Yeah, Khalifa now going to go to the inside. And he's through. Janel pitting, by the way. Will Kyle actually jump him? Because he did do an undercut, of course, didn't he? So let's keep our eye on this as Kyle heads up. There is Janel exiting the pits on his medium tyres. He will be in the DRS of Baza, actually. So Janel, good gap. And closing on Baza. Here he goes, down the inside. Will get DRS as well on the exit 2. So that's worked out quite nicely for Janel. Obviously, Arnold, the one that's worked out best for, but yeah, I'm surprised Khalifa hasn't just taken the 2-stop, you know, from just pit later on, put more mediums on. It's going to do a 2-stop from, it's going to be a 3-stop basically.
Yeah, very surprising there as well, but
are we expecting rain?
Well, that could be the case, or he's just saying, you know what, the softs, and I would understand actually looking at the tires. Yeah, Okiki's out. That's virtual safety car.
That will help, obviously, Yuri and Dexter and Baza. You can pit under virtual safety car. Cam is back into this. Corey might be able to get in as well. So that'll be good news for him.
That is our first retirement, by the way. I was waiting for my next moment to comment on the race, and I was going to say, we've still got everybody running.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were in your head commentators cursing Okiki there. Unbelievable.
Oh, Corey's been held as well. Luck his day is just a bit unlucky when you get given a chance and then that happens to you. Oh well, he's heading back out again. I'm just saying, I don't know if someone's got the stream on in the background, but I can't hear it. I don't know if the viewers will be able to hear that in the background. Just if you're aware, I don't know.
No, we can't hear anything.
I don't know if it was me going, have my mic duplicating the sound, but hopefully it isn't. And we've just gone green again, and Corey, what's he done that for? We're watching him. He went to try and pass Iceman, and in doing so he has sped out of the pit lane. He's got a drive-through penalty. I'd almost say that is him while at the championship now. I can't believe he's just done that.
On the Kia Series Championship 5 on Tuesday, we had 2 retirements from that race. Everyone's still running, but it looks like Corey, I think he's the master of his own downfall here.
I don't know what Jordan was up to there, but he just slowed right down and let everyone through. He's down in last place now. And he's, cruising along.
Jordan's trying to prove he's not good enough for Cup, even though he is. I think he wants to race in Kia next season.
I don't want to be here, Jacko. Please get me out. No.
He's the top 10 driver, by the way, normally, is Jordan. Yeah.
So this is Corey taking this drive through. He's all over the grass, trying to hit in the wall. He has hit the wall. Oh. Yeah, he'll just hit the retire button now. He's in a full-on rage mode. We are losing a Championship 5 contender. It's now Championship 4.
Those four are all in the top 5 right now. We have Arno, Janel, Kyle, the top 3, and then Khalifa in 5th. And I wanted to say earlier, before we got interrupted by Corey's misfortune here, Khalifa with his tires, I think it is a smart choice to go for an extra stop. Remember, you lose 18 seconds, but I said before, the difference between the softs and the mediums in fresh condition, 0.8 of a second per lap. That is quite a gap on a circuit as short as this one. So Khalifa should have some pace on these medium runners up front. Kyle should be the only one who can match him here, as Khalifa goes for the move on Pete Knighton round the outside of turn 1 and makes it stick. That is quite a daring move there. Yeah, Risky also coming through now, but from Khalifa that was a daring move, and he makes it stick. And there's contact between the two speed drivers as well. I think no damage to be had, but side contact between Risky and Knighton.
I don't really know what Peak was doing out there in turn 1. He was very slow and just sort of sat on the inside. It was like it was sort of half letting Khalifa through, but then still made it difficult for him on the apex. And obviously that's why Risky's been able to get all over him. Just seemed a bit of an old tactic that it's just costing yourself positions, and that's what he's done. But oh well, Khalifa's not going to mind too much. He now has a gap to close down on the leaders on these softs.
I was thinking in my head again that this is Season 1 title rivals, of course, come down to 3 tenths of a second in that race, next to each other on track, and then Pete went defensive on the pit straight and just allowed Khalifa to sort of catch up. It was a bit awkward, but you know, he didn't make life overly difficult for somebody who he has a history with. But there we are, Khalifa to the top 4.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm looking at the times, and that's a very interesting picture. On the previous lap, lap 22, so, I mean, at this point, 2 laps ago, the fastest man on track, or the fastest man in the Championship 4, was Janul on the mediums, faster than the soft drivers. Now that has shifted. Khalifa with the overtake, still 1 minute 6.2 on the last lap. No one else was in the 1 minute 6s, so he has at least those 8 tenths I was talking about on everyone else, on Kyle, on Janul, and on Arnaud. So Khalifa right now looking really, really strong and in the driver's seat for this Championship 4, despite being 4th in the Championship 4 right now.
Yeah, but he has still got to close that gap. We keep saying it's one thing catching up and passing, and when you're fighting for the championship, we know this does tend to get quite aggressive. So yeah, I still hope he's not playing, ruining the tires too quickly. You got to play the long game a little bit here. But
and he will require another stop as well. But if he can close that gap, we're in for a hell of a fight right at the end of this race.
Yeah, meanwhile, I also checked the penalty situation for the top 4. Of course, you see there are no penalties, but what about the warnings? Well, they all have 1 warning so far, with the exception of Janul, who's already running on 2.
Yuri there, going past Jamie, of course the outgoing champion, here in the Lotus livery, which we love, don't we?
Nope.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
He was just saying what you were thinking.
Yeah, it was rhetorical, but it needed an answer just to reaffirm its disgusting nature. Do you remember when Pete used to run the same colours, I think, for a 5-lap championship? Penalty for Janul!
As I mentioned that he had 2 warnings, there's the 3rd.
Yeah. There it is. That's commentator's curse once again.
Yep. Janul will be in my DMs after the race, I'm pretty sure.
That's going to be encouraging for the other 3 that'll be going after him, because they'll all be able to see that penalty on their screens when they're around him, so that'll be good news for them. What is that debris sitting at turn 3? Or is it just a marking on the track? It looks like a front wing dance, but I think it is just a marking.
Yeah, it looked more like a skid mark than it looked like a front wing.
Yeah, couldn't tell what that was. I was wondering why that's still there after 26 laps, but that'd be why, because there's nothing there. But, oops. We'll move on from my blindness, because Khalifa 1.7 now to Kyle. Maybe another 2 laps, he should be in the DRS range. And sizing up an overtake. Kyle himself also closing on Janul, so cheeky wee 3-way scrap. Possibly getting prepared for us, which is lovely.
Jamie around the outside of Yuri at turn 5. Let's crack a move if he can put it off. I don't think he's going to. Yuri holds position.
He's going to come back on him though.
A couple seasons ago, Pete pulled that off on Camo Babo. Jamie being made to wait here by Yuri.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get it done. That's very close. Yuri goes for a half a spin. That is move complete by Jamie Wright.
Look at weaving down that main straight. It's almost like it's in celebration mode. He knows we're watching that one. But yeah, that was committed right outside of turn 9. Good respect from those 2. I know there was contact in the end, but it's inevitable in that last corner. I think it was still a good racing regardless. And obviously contact's allowed in this league, as long as it isn't murder like we saw last week. But
detrimental to the race, yeah.
Yeah. Right, Khalifa, 1.2 seconds. Will he be able to get into the DRS range by the end of this lap? Is the big question. That DRS detection point is at the exit of turn 9, so unless he manages to close 0.3 of a second, now he's not going to get DRS until at least the run down to turn 3, but he is getting there. and it's starting to get a little bit dull in some parts of the track again. Can never tell what this weather's going to do, to be honest with you.
No, it looks pretty bright again still. I was looking at I was trying to sort of calculate the average lap times from the top 4 in the last 4 laps, because that's where we sort of got a consistent look at them on their new tires and everything. And once again, the picture stays the same. Khalifa, on average, 0.6 of a second quicker than any other driver in front of him. And we see the gaps now coming down to just about a second between Khalifa and Kyle. In fact, under a second now, as he is closing in more and more on the first of his 3 rivals in front.
Khalifa wants his championship bad, doesn't he? That you can see the way he's driving, the recovery from that damage on lap 1. He's just absolutely in the zone. I mean, so is Arnold, but that gap is not extending beyond 4 seconds at the moment. I think Khalifa is your man as we look at a lot of laps to go. 50 odd, 52, 42. My maths are awful.
Yeah, at this point, all the drivers have to pit at least one more time. The soft runners aren't going to make it. The medium runners aren't going to make it. None of them are going to make it on these tires that they're on right now. So they all have to pit once more. And they can all get away with the last stint being a soft stint. So they can all get there, even those on the softs right now, Kyle and Khalifa. Although, let me check. No, actually, Kyle has to go on to mediums because he's only used the softs so far. So he needs the mediums. But everyone else has used mediums already or is on them right now. And so they can go for softs in the final stint.
0.3 of a second then for Khalifa as he got close with the DRS, not close enough to make an overtake, and Kyle just tantalisingly close to DRS on Kyle on Jano. Yeah, he's within a second now. Let's see if he can hold it.
That's a go off track with Cam fighting him.
It'll be close actually, won't it? He should get it, Kyle. Yes, he gets it. So Kyle will get DRS. He had a great run through his last 2 corners actually. It's where we saw him pulling away from Janel earlier in the race, you remember. Although he hasn't got that much ERS to fight with. In fact, Janel's got the most out of these 3 and he's the one leading that track. But you can see, as he has a wee slide out of turn 1, that he is giving it everything to try and hold these guys behind. Arnaud still pretty comfortable, 3.6 seconds clear in the lead. But it's going to be the second half of the race where he finds himself under pressure. Because, as you say, you're going to have a very fast Khalifa catching soon. But here's Kyle, first of all, on Jano. Not really close enough, but it's doing enough to keep Khalifa behind anyway.
Kyle's tyres actually are the worst out of the 4 looking at TAS. Arnold's, surprisingly enough, are in the best condition.
That is surprising. Doing a good job at least, so...
I don't know if he's managing the gap or if he just can't do any more.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's managing the gap. I mean, Jano does seem like he's struggling quite a bit, yet Arnold's not really pulling away from him. And we've seen how quick Arnold's been all day. As you can see, Jano's all over the road. Here comes Kyle for second place. He should get onto turn 1. That should set Khalifa up to go now. And now Arnold will extend the gap up to, but will Jano, remember, he has actually got more ERS, hasn't he? So I shouldn't be sort of ruling him out of this, because now he should be able to cruise straight back up and past Kyle again. Let's see, into towards turn 3, is he going to just hold it and go for the DRS on the run to 4? Let's see. Another slide. He's really struggling with this, isn't he? As Khalifa comes through now. So, Jano, he's not really able to use that ARC to his advantage. And Khalifa, round the outside. Difficult move this when you've got Kyle right in front of you like this. But on the grippier tyres, he's through and into P3, Khalifa.
That's just the tyre advantage helping him out as well here. Difference between those tyres at this point is going to be around 5% between the softs and the mediums, which really does not mean all too much. It's such a minute difference that the soft tyres are still about 6 to 7 tenths of a second quicker per lap than those mediums. So, yeah, they're both going to hunt, or all 3 possibly. For Jano, this might be a blessing in disguise if he can stay with Khalifa and Kyle, because that could bring him closer with the DRS to Arnaud, and we could have all 4 bunched up at the very front of this race.
That's exactly what we want, isn't it? The previous 2 Championship 5 races have been excellent to watch, but excellent in their own way. We've not had a straight-up battle with all the contenders. I know we're missing Corey at this point, but with the 4 contenders, we've not had it yet. As Khalifa looks down the inside of Kyle.
Oh, that is tight.
And doesn't quite make it. Once again, outside line prevailing. Khalifa will wait another lap, or half a lap. Janel is sticking with him though.
You're in a fight there with Jamie again. He's been in that all day, really, hasn't he? They're having a good old fight. Shame we're not able to watch all of it, but I assure you, it's good stuff. Kieran and Pete's still going as well, so there is stuff going on behind the leaders, but you can understand why we're still sticking with him as Khalifa looks to have another go.
Yeah, I think Khalifa just wants to get past. He knows how much quicker he is. He caught up to Kyle by a couple of seconds, so he knows he could potentially reel in Arnaud, and he's going for the move right here. Up to turn 3, around the outside. Actually slows down. Look at this. They're both slowing down before the line because they both want the DRS, and Khalifa gets it.
Look at Janel.
Are you kidding me?
Janel's got a massive amount of DRS. Same as before. He might be able to mug one of these two here. He's going to try and have a go at Kyle. Those two were not thinking about Janel there, and it has cost Kyle a position, so he's just gone down. As if Khalifa passed him wasn't bad enough. He's down to P4 now. That was... You could see what they were doing, but Khalifa knew he had the upper hand there, and he's absolutely done Kyle in there.
The mind games have been going on all week since I created the group chat for the Championship 5, but they're going on off track and on track now. Khalifa winning that round. And that is huge.
It is indeed.
He had no need to do that either.
Yeah, he was on 1 warning after lap 6, then kept it fairly clean. Lap 27 got a second one, and now he got his 3rd, and that is 3 seconds for him.
That'll be a warning for Khalifa. He went up to Narnia in turn 1. I do expect the rest of them to get penalties at some point. It would surprise me if anyone goes penalty 3 in this race.
That was not a warning for Khalifa.
Really?
Yes. Damn. I just checked the race director. He did not get a warning from that. I'm surprised as well. That looked like it should be one, but he got away with one there. He got away with murder. Did a bit.
Dexter didn't. He got that penalty at turn 1. So I'd love to know what a penalty at turn 1 is, please. But whatever he did, as he gets past Baz at P12.
Game throwing up inconsistencies once again. I'd love to see. Become accustomed to it.
It is 2 again. It's Yuri and Jamie. I'm sure they'll be in the chat after the race. Not that Jamie's there anymore because he rage quit from the league and was never had it back. And Yuri as well. They're both not in the chat. But I'm sure they're enjoying the fight. Take my word for it. It looks like it's been quite good. Kieran is still all over the back of Pete, trying to get himself up into P6. He's been quite good today, but yeah, it's just not good enough. If he were in the Championship 5, he wouldn't really be a massive factor today, sadly. So I guess he's probably in a better position, just fighting for fun now. But yeah, Season 1 champion. Having a good day, actually, Pete. Shame his first part of the season wasn't all that spectacular. He certainly has come up in the second part. And Kieran, side by side. Contact. Of course you start crashing into each other now, don't you? For goodness sake. Oh well, Pete's ahead still.
Take a moment away from the stream, boys. We have just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. Great to see. Yeah, 100 subs, 50 races. We're going to get ourselves a 3rd champion as we just about approach the halfway point, believe it or not, of this race.
Normally by now it would be over. Normally Arnaud would start the final lap of the race right now, but no, we still got half of the race in front of us. Surprisingly, as Jordan was just in the pit lane, is rejoining now, a lap down on the top 4.
Oh dear, what are these two doing now? They've both got penalties at the same time, Kieran and Pete. I know I shouldn't be watching these two because it's not important in the science, but we just know what those guys are like from having seen them all season long. That's far as way to happen. That could be safety car potential later on. So I just want to catch their accident when it happens, because it will happen. But at the moment, it's all stalemate at the front. Bit of a lock up from one of them in there, but it's they're all just impatient.
It's not really a stalemate at the front. The battle is just one that's not very close because Janel won't find a way past Khalifa because of the tyre situation. Kyle won't find a way past Khalifa because he won't find a way past Jano because they're on pretty much similar pace here, and they both get the DRS off of Khalifa, at least for now. So the battle really is between Arnaud and Khalifa, and that's about 3.5 seconds. Khalifa has been reeling in the Belgian by just about a tenth or two every lap now. It's not much, but he chips away just a little bit more. Arnaud very consistent in the last 4 laps at a 1 minute 7.2, whereas Khalifa in the last 4 laps, 1 minute 6.9 roughly. I think that's both very consistent. So about 0.3 a lap, which means once we get to about, what would that be, 12 laps more? Yeah, just about. I mean, 9 laps more for Khalifa to be in the DRS, and then things can snowball out of control.
Spot on, Austin. You can have a job if you want. We
Speed
don't have
drive,
professional commentary like that. But bang on, like I say, because Arnaud gained a second on Janel, Khalifa and Kyle when they were all fighting, and Khalifa has now gained that second back. Like you say, in a good number of laps. I'm not going to work it out in case I'm wrong.
Just about 3.
Just about
3. No, well, he gained it back in 3.
Oh, he gained it back. Yeah.
And so in about 9 laps time he should be catching up. Although this lap didn't look too good for Khalifa. Looking at Arnaud's time, we're talking... Oh, Arnaud is picking up the pace! Hello, 1 minute 6.8 from Arnaud, his best lap of the race so far. And Khalifa has been dropping off a little bit, 1 minute 7.0, so Arnaud actually increasing the gap a little bit. Maybe he knows what's going on behind him. He's using a bit more overtake. I remember a couple laps ago I saw him on 70-80%. He's down to 45 now, gets up to 60 again in the braking zone of turn 4. But yeah, he's been using a bit more energy. He wants to get away. He wants to make sure that Khalifa does not catch up to him.
Then, so let's say, as usual, Sam, we would normally be celebrating a race winner and a chance to win it by now, but this is where we see how good these guys are doing 100% races. Obviously, we have seen them do it at the short track, but it's just not quite the same. This is a full-on endurance race, and right now, like I say, we had suspected, hadn't we, earlier, that Arnaud maybe was just sort of backing up a little bit, and when he put sauce on at the end of this race, I reckon he might just do it. I know we always sort of assume Khalifa's going to be there, but Arnaud, he'll be quicker at the end. I reckon he might have a good chance at winning his championship, you know. Which sounds silly to say, oh, he's led the whole race, but he might have a chance. But he does. I think he's actually looking really good, Arnaud. But I've predicted it now, so you might as well retire now. But,
well done, Kyle, on the title.
Yeah, congrats, Kyle. Congrats, Khalifa, or congrats, Janel. Speaking of which,
well, now you've cursed out. Now they're all going to retire. We're not going to have a champion. What happens, by the way?
Up here and that.
Jacko, by the way, what happens if all 5 drivers do in fact retire? Who wins the championship?
It'd be the last one to retire.
So there you go.
Whoever is highest on Codemasters standings, that would be the champion. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. That would be.
Yeah, that would be anticlimactic as well.
Yeah, but it would be a good win good win for Pete, see him back on a top step. Or Kieran.
Right now, or Kieran, yeah.
Well, they've been fighting so much, we're watching it at the minute, and they're having a good wee scrap at the minute. Fighting away for P5, they were side by side a little bit earlier on, and Rusky was in the fight as well, but he's pitted. So at least, like I say, behind that championship 4, there's good stuff.
Yeah, I think the tires between Arnaud and Khalifa are getting to the point where the gap is so minuscule that there is no advantage anymore either way. The question is who's going to be the first one to pit, who's going to pull the undercut, because if Khalifa pits, is the first one to pit, which is very likely, because his tires do seem better, then he may have an opportunity to gain some of that time back on Arnaud, but it's going to be really tricky. Ultimately, Khalifa doesn't even have to get even close to Arnaud. Oh!
Yeah, that was inevitable. We've had a collision with Kieran and Pete. Pete moved a bit late, and Kieran went piling into him. As I said, if a safety car is going to happen, it'll be these two. Although I reckon that'll be carried to the pits, so that might well be that chance of the safety car gone now. Maybe some people will be quite happy about that, but yes, they were asking to have an accident, and it finally happened, so we can watch somebody else now. Woohoo, stream our rejoicing. Let's go back and watch the top 4.
As is normally championship races, though, it's a lot of focus isn't put on the other drivers. It's always 5 guys or whoever's still fighting for the title. Kieran giving up there, speeding into the pit lane. Doesn't get a penalty. Must have just got it under the miles per hour.
Yeah, he'll fall down the field now, so that should be Pete pretty secure in P5, unless obviously Risky's done the undercut actually, hasn't he? So that those two will still be having their best of the rest fight later on. And yeah, you can't pit at this point for Sauce, can't you? If you want to do undercuts, if you're Jano, for example.
You could, but it would be incredibly early and the tires would fall away right at the end. No one's going to risk that at this point. It's a bit too early. If this was a 50% race, I think it would be sort of percentage-wise, this would be where you would go for the final pit stop, but in a 100% race, because you're running at around 60 to 65% on those tires at the end, and that is where they hit their cliff and they fall off significantly. So I don't see it happening, but I think they're preparing for it, and I think Khalifa, we might see within the next 2 or 3 laps. Arnaud, he might leave himself a bit more time, but he has to be careful. He can't leave himself too much time, or he might run into issues on the undercut here by Khalifa.
So let's say that gap is just sort of staying the same, Khalifa and Arnaud. I do wonder how that dynamic's going to play out at the end of the race, because if we're at the end and it's sort of bordering on 3 seconds and you still have Khalifa under pressure from Janel and Kyle, that could be the fight for the championship right there, but it could be where they lose it. They're going to have to, all 3, be really careful. I'd love to know what Arnaud's thinking right now. Just saying, I don't know how close down with this, as Kyle decides he will go for that undercut, although he is going to go on mediums, isn't he? He might be the one who actually falls out of that fight now, won't he? Because I'd expect the rest to be going on the softs.
Yeah. He'll go on to the medium because he has to. Yeah, Kyle has to go on to mediums. There's no way, because he hasn't used them yet, so he has to. And that, I think, he really needs a safety car or something that can bring him back in. Otherwise, this is going to be his championship hunt over at this point. In fact, he rejoins behind Gaza, gets the DRS off of Gaza, though. Very lucky there. In fact, weaves a little bit to say thank you. I think that's what that meant. Sometimes weaving can mean a lot of things in racing and generally in cars, but in this case I think it was a very positive one. Well, as Gaza left him through.
We're saying, he might be out of the championship, but he is obviously doing an undercut right now, so he will gain some time back. It just depends on everyone else is around him.
Khalifa's going to pit. Khalifa's going to pit.
Yeah, and he goes.
That with 28 laps to go. This could get spicy. He's going for the undercut. What is Arnaud going to do? Is he going to request the pit stop now to his crew? Or is he going to say, no, we got this. Tires still feel good. I mean, his tires still look good. That is for sure. So he might not be fancying the move here, as Khalifa will rejoin completely in clean air, as Kyle is definitely behind him by a couple of seconds here. Khalifa out of the pit lane, slightly crosses the white line there, not too much though. I think the game will not ding him for that. And the gap is just under 2 seconds between Khalifa and Kyle, so 17 seconds of just fresh, clean Austrian air right in front of him.
This must be the most dominant we've ever seen a Championship 5 race. Well, Championship 4 now. I mean, they're making their pit stops and they're still ahead of Pete. I mean, they've made a whole pit stop on them. It's mad. They're so quick today. Definitely picked the right
Khalifa,
people.
Khalifa's made 2 pit stops. Remember that. He's on 3 now. He's had 2 more than Pete now.
Can we just point out as well, like, these guys didn't even know what the track was until 17 minutes past 6.
Yes.
So they're on minimal practice and they're performing outstandingly. They're played with just another level, all 4 of them today.
Like I say, we definitely picked the right bunch, didn't we? So, there you go. That proves that our qualification system is much better than any other qualification system, because we quite clearly picked the best. Just made it a lot more entertaining than any other league ever in history. But it's not over yet, of course, because we've got to decide where they all finish. Because, like I say, these top 2 staying at another lap, that's given pretty nice undercut opportunities to Khalifa in particular. But as you say, Austin, the tyres might fall away towards the end. So it really is just about the balance here. But,
yeah, meanwhile, I'm going to tell you right now, Khalifa is going to get this lap in a 1:05, if not better. He might actually dip into the 1:04s, possibly, although that's very unlikely, I think.
Now pits.
But a mid 1:05 here, I think Khalifa has gained on Arnaud about 2 seconds each lap, so it might actually be the case that Arnaud rejoins the track behind Khalifa, possibly.
Janel set out, by the way, again, in waiting for a safety car or something, but here is Khalifa. We're watching him now, coming through the final corner. We're right on board, in fact. You should be able to see his rival climbing the hill. There he is, and it will be quite close. Remember, on the penalty...
Look at that! That's 3.5 seconds!
On the penalty,
Khalifa, in 2 laps.
On the penalty, Khalifa is still technically ahead here. He's just going to make sure he doesn't get a penalty of his own. But yeah, this.
He only has one warning still. He only has one warning still, so he can afford a second one. Arnaud hasn't gotten a single warning since his penalty, unless he just got it in the last lap. I'm going to check just to make sure. Oh, he just got it this lap. Sorry. Yeah, I think our commentators cursed him there. But yeah, Khalifa still on 1 warning only, and Arnaud on 1 penalty plus 1 warning. So they both have 1 in hand. They can afford. Janel, on the other hand, well, he's got his penalty already. And on top of that, he's got an extra warning as well. So he's got 1 in hand too.
And what's important for Kyle, I know he's starting to fade away now, but he needs to try and stay with these guys just in case it gets a little bit feisty later on. Because if Khalifa were to pick up a penalty or get forced wide or anything like that, then who's in the box seat? It's that man there in 4th with no warnings, or no penalties, sorry, I should say.
Yeah, warnings-wise, he is on 1 still, so he's just doing as well as Khalifa is with the penalties and with the warnings. 1 warning for each of them.
Like I said, the sad thing here is really that Khalifa can now sit here for the whole rest of the race and still win the championship because of the penalty. So, for goodness sake, Arnaud, why have you done this to us?
Well, the question is, will he though? Because, think about this for a second, as a race driver, I mean, you want to win this on track. You want to crown yourself the champion the moment you cross the line and not the moment someone else crosses the line in front of you. And, you know, you want to be P1. So, there's going to be a little bit of pride, I think, in Khalifa. He's going to say, hey, I want to get this position on track. He will sit in the slipstream and in the DRS of Arnaud for now. But come lap, I would say maybe 68, 69, 70. I think we will see a bit of a feistier Khalifa who's going to try to go for that move and going to try to get that position on track. He won't be overly risky because obviously he doesn't want to throw the championship away. But I think we will see him try to go for that move, try to get the position, and yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we see him at least start 1 or 2 attempts later on in this race.
As was said about Janel, by the way, he's still been stepping on. I guess he is just waiting for that safety car, but I've been so clean.
Oh, Khalifa!
Yeah.
Well, that was a massive moment there through turn 6. Got on the inside curb. Just started losing control. The back end just got a little bit slippery there, a little bit loose, and he was able to catch it well, but almost out of DRS range of Arnaud here, and that would be pretty crucial, pretty good for Arnaud, pretty bad for Khalifa. If he falls out of DRS range, he didn't, but that could have ended a lot more badly.
Because I thought Janel might be trying to wait for a safety car, but they've been so clean, it just wasn't really looking like it was going to happen. Of course, with the lock now, it will happen, but yeah, Arnaud
on pit exit.
Yeah, Janel and Kyle here going at it on pit exit onto turn 3, and Kyle will have the DRS. Will he go for the move? No. He looks, but decides against it. Wants to get the better run, but Janel just... Wow, Janel with what an exit that was, and he didn't even use much overtake mode there, but he just flew away. That is a remarkable corner exit there on those fresh medium tires, and you can immediately tell how difficult those mediums are right now for Kyle. The gap to Khalifa is now almost 8 seconds. Remember, it was at about 3.5 just a couple of laps ago. He's losing significant amounts of time. I think what you said earlier, Jacko, that Kyle has to stay with Khalifa and Arnaud. He's not capable because his tires are just not capable as they top each other on the fastest lap of the race. Are you kidding me? They're both dropping into the 1-minute 4s. Wow.
Yeah,
and
well...
a difference of a tenth between the two.
Arnold did get a better DRS at the start of this lap, but yeah, he wasn't able to do much with it. You know, the problem he's got is no matter how quick he is, he's quicker than Khalifa, but it's Khalifa hitting that DRS the whole time that's just keeping him there. He needs Khalifa to make a mistake that takes him out of the DRS. And that's what's going to have to launch his campaign.
Seconds.
Yeah, but there is one chance for Arnaud. Looking at it right now, Khalifa is running low on ERS. He's been sort of driving on borrowed time here, if you want. Borrowed energy, really. And Arnaud is still, I mean, he's not perfect with his ERS, but he's still at around 45%. So there's still a possibility here for him to get something going. But Khalifa really struggling on that energy recovery, and that might hurt him ultimately. If Arnaud decides to just pump it up a little bit, then he might be able to drive away in just a couple of laps. Not to the point of 3 seconds, but once he breaks that DRS range, anything is possible.
That's the problem, that we can't when it's 3 zones on this track. That's his big issue. That penalty really is costing him. It needs a big mistake in that middle sector for Khalifa.
And,
I just don't see him doing it though.
Janel picked up a penalty unnoticed whilst you were talking about Arnold trying to break the DRS there. 20 to go in the Cup Series finale.
Does feel this is going to be going Khalifa's way no matter what Arnold does now. It's literally all about whether Khalifa doesn't get a penalty or not. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Never know, safety cars could get involved, they could switch it up again, but it does feel like we sort of know where this is going now. Hope I'm wrong, I hope we get a bit more of a good fight.
Does Khalifa want to win it on track?
Nah, he's not going to be that stupid. Unless there's a clear opportunity, he will sit there and he will take the championship the safest way possible.
I'm not so sure.
I
know for myself. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be close enough right now, but, you know, potentially, I mean, anything can happen in the next 18, 19 laps, so he could get close enough by the time we get to lap 65, lap 70, maybe even lap 71. He could get close. He's still in the DRS, he could still, you know, one mistake from Arnaud, and all of a sudden Khalifa's all over the back of him.
And also, another thing to take into consideration, if Khalifa makes a move too early, it allows Arnold to stay with him and fight and overtake, and they lose time like that. All of a sudden, you bring in Kyle back into the equation. I think Janel very much out of it now with 6 seconds of penalties. But yeah, Khalifa, I think, just biding his time, waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, not just that. Think about this. If Khalifa makes the move on Arnaud too early as well, all of a sudden Arnaud can put a whole bunch of pressure on Khalifa. It's always easier to be the car following than it is to be the car in front. And so for Khalifa, he might make more mistakes, he might get more warnings, and he might get himself a penalty in that moment, and maybe even 2 if the pressure from Arnaud is that high. So yeah, you really want to leave it to the last possible moment, or one of the last possible moments, to make a potential overtake happen. Don't forget, damage could play a role as well. Doesn't right now, they both have no damage whatsoever, but what if they come together? What if one of them gets wing damage? All the things are possible here. Anything can happen. And with about 17.5 laps, this is, or 18.5 laps actually, this is going to get pretty spicy here.
Camera Rebel was just falling on the field a little bit. I'm looking at cars that Arnold and Khalifa will be catching up to, because lapped traffic could be what helps Arnold out here, but he catches it in the right place compared to where Khalifa catches, because he will probably catch a couple of these cars.
Yeah, Cam being the first one.
He just needs one of them to hold up Khalifa more than it's holding up him, and it could be enough to make the gap, because right now he can't do anything about the gap. It must be so frustrating for him. Has Khalifa got any more warnings yet?
Nope, he's still on 1.
He's doing his
At least last time I checked, which was about 2 laps ago. I'm going to check once again. Yep, he's still on 1.
Doing all he needs to do then. He really is just keeping it as clean as you like. And he's saved enough ERS to where he can easily follow and not have to worry about it. It's just, it's all going Khalifa's way. So, safety
look
cars
up.
and lap traffic, that's what's going to be possibly what does it for Khalifa, and penalties. But yeah, Arnold, it's going to be frustrating him a lot because he has dominated this race and he's not going to end up getting anything from it. Khalifa, where was he? He was what 16th on the grid? It also ended up being one of those impressive performances of his JACKOCAR career, and that's coming from someone who finished P1 in Canada twice from being outside the top 10, one of them from the back of the grid, one of them from 14th, which was last week. You know, he's getting good at these back to the front races, but yeah, doing another one today. And I think it'll be the first time a Championship 5 is decided by winning the race as well, which is always nice. So
yeah, League Cup Series it will be. ST Mats did it on Tuesday night, winning the race.
Do you know what? Maybe you're right, Austin. Maybe Clipper does want to get one because it is getting so close now.
Yeah, he's looking. He's aggressive. He's getting bored. Maybe yes, but he's trying to show himself in Arno. Look at this. Once again, he shows himself in the rearview mirror. Maybe trying to make Arno a little bit more nervous and try to drive him into a mistake. Arno so far not budging, but I mean the amount of pressure that's on the shoulders of the Belgian here, I mean it's almost unbearable. It's almost not withstandable. So I think if Arno somehow finishes ahead of Khalifa on track and with no additional penalties to the one he has, I think that would still be a massive feat for Arno despite not winning the championship possibly.
Both of these guys in full sweat mode at the moment as well, aren't they? It's great to see, really pushing each other.
I'm not sure about full sweat mode. Khalifa just weaved twice on the main straight. He's almost it's like, it really looks like it's a predator playing with his prey. Once again, he looks for it, doesn't go for it, he knows he's too far away. Even compromises his entry a little bit. Doesn't go back to the outside on corner entry. What is Khalifa doing? He really is just a lion playing with the prey he's about to eat. Don't play with your food, kids.
Although, in this case, it does bring you a JACKOCAR Cup Series Championship. So,
fair enough.
Pinnacle within the league.
Now, here's his first blue flag being waved now. Arnold might nick some DRS at some point from all this. In fact, he does get some here. So what he needs is to get by, not on this straight, but on the next straight, so that means he gets 2 doses of the DRS, and then at the same time, hope that Khalifa gets held up a little bit more by Cam. So this needs to be full overtake, full DRS, full blast down the straight, take full advantage of the time he might be able to make up. And Cam, I reckon he's going to give Arnold a third DRS as well. That's going to be annoying Khalifa, and it would mean that Khalifa will be the one getting held up in all the twisty, sore corners. So surely Cam, he can't hold him up forever, and he will move now. Now, will he let Khalifa go as well? Will he cut back across? And he lets them both go through. So, yeah, helped Arnold a little bit, but as you can see, the gap's still a quarter of a second. So really, there is nothing Arnold can do about this.
Yeah, I mean, if Cam moves across there, that is damage to Khalifa, and at that point, I think, I'm not sure what would happen to Cam if he did that, but pretty sure there might be, some boots to butts involved, because that would be incredibly unsportsmanlike, and we know Cam, he's not that kind of guy, so he just let both of them through, ultimately making it more difficult for Arnaud here to get something going, but they are closing in on the next guy. That is Risky in 13th, so that another opportunity. This one didn't work, but there is another one, and there's more down the road as well. There's Dexter in P12, there's Yuri and Camel Babo battling right now. If they can close up to that group of 2, then there may be an opportunity. Speaking of Yuri and Camel Babo battling it out through turn 4, and that is Yuri, I think, still ahead of the ERT driver here in Camel Babo. So no changes there, but yeah, this could get interesting here with Arnaud and Khalifa. Many opportunities still to potentially pull a gap at the right place, but they're so close. I feel like Arnaud has to do some of the work himself, because they're so close that if you're a lapped car, you're looking into your mirrors, you're going, yeah, I'll let us both through at the same time, that costs me less time.
And here's another try for Arnold. He'll get by Risky soon enough. DRS once again, not using the ARS that much. He's just Another penalty for Janel, by the way. It doesn't really make much of a difference to me. He's closing on this, but he's got 6 seconds of penalty, so it doesn't really matter. Arnold again gets a lovely toe down the straight, and this time he will get by.
Oh, now the distance looks 3/4 of a second. Risky goes right back in between.
Ah.
Oh, and this might be the play right here. That could change things a little bit. Although Arnaud did not get the DRS, so this helps Khalifa more than anything.
Yeah,
but Risky not pulling out of the way. Look at that. He's not pulling out of the way.
Risky is not obliged to move out of the way under blue flags. Nobody is. This is entirely up to him.
Oh, Khalifa might have to make a proper overtake here.
He's got to do something
down the inside. Oh,
and that's a second. That's almost a second now.
But it's not quite. Arnold's got to put his foot down. Put your foot down. He's got a bit of extra ERS. Use it before he gets back into the DRS. Oh no, Arnold!
Oh, Risky, a previous race winner here, and affected this race as well.
I don't know why Arnold's not just floored it down that back straight. He didn't use the ERS. It's too late now. He's back in your DRS. That was your golden opportunity, and he's blown it.
11 to go.
Yeah, I think at this point it's safe to say, although Khalifa is now down to 6.5%, 4% ERS, so he's really struggling there, but the DRS is what keeps him alive.
Yeah, it's a free DRS soon. He'll save that ERS back up in no time if he needs it. He's just,
as we look at potential new champion, the 2 previous champions battling for P6 at the moment. Jamie just getting by Pete.
Well,
yeah, I gotta say, ultimately, looking at the 2 drivers here, Arnaud and Khalifa, I think if Khalifa wins this, which seems very, very likely at this point, it's just down to the cleverness. I mean, we saw him slow down to get the DRS off of Kyle earlier when he was in a battle with him and Janel. Now we see him use all of his ERS just to stay within that 1 second gap, while Arnaud didn't. Arnaud didn't read the situation the right way. And I think at this point Arnaud really only has himself to blame. He had the opportunity there with the lapped car of Risky, and he was not able to take it. So yeah, really at this point it really just comes down to who is the better driver. And it seems like right now, at least in this race, it is Khalifa.
Still Jimmy and Pete are fighting away. Kind of ironic. Khalifa was one of Pete's main rivals. Arnold was one of Jamie's main rivals, and here they are fighting for their fin, and their main rivals are away going for the title today. Love a bit of that, but yeah, they're down 6th and 7th. They're absolutely nowhere near. They're not going to get lapped, but they are a long, long way behind these 2 up front. Let's say that's Championship 5 or Championship 4. 21 seconds. Kyle is ahead of Kieran, and he's fallen 15 seconds off of all this. Really just shows how dominant this Championship 4 are at the moment. Corey wasn't involved in an accident early, he would have been right with this as well. Real shame, because he won here earlier in the season. It seems here, whatever happened to him, it's cost him big time.
Yeah, I do think the length of the race has started to show who it favours. I mentioned it earlier that it might affect them in the second half of the race, and all the drivers who you normally see up there, you know, your Kieran's, Jamie's, Pete's, Iceman, they're all just nowhere near these front 4, and I tell you what, Championship 4, what it is, it's very slowly and almost inevitably a Championship 2 right now.
Those 2 are fighting up ahead of these 2. Camo and Dexter. This could be another chance for Arnaud to make some time up, but there's only 10 to go, so he's running out of time to make the gap even if he gets out. But those 2 really are giving it some, aren't they? They're side by side for most of the lap. Camo eventually falling behind, and we know what Camo's like with the blue flags. He puts his brake to the floor. He just says, right, go through, quick. Doesn't really block anyone, does he?
And these are ERT boys as well. They're not going to hold up their teammates, are they?
Nah. Shame that, because that's probably the last chances we're going to get for anything to go wrong for Khalifa. Not that I wanted to go wrong, but I
just slowed on the straight in front of Janel, and is allowed Risky to overtake him into turn 1.
Oh,
Caught napping.
Here comes Khalifa. He wants to win it on track. Oh! Over the grass. Will he still get the move done?
And he's still going.
Contact. He's through. I don't think Arnold's going to have anything to complain about there. He did his best to try and kill Khalifa, and he still got past him. Talk about commitment.
Khalifa has damage. Left side front wing. It's not much. The end plate is still on the car, but it is 12% damage on the left side front wing. So he's got a light green. That might hurt him, but he is past now. Oh, that was close. On the grass, he overtakes Arnaud there and then on brakes.
That's just how desperate Arnaud was getting. And yeah, that might be his championship done. Luckily for him, Janel has one extra penalty behind him because he was actually catching these two a little bit. Don't know if he'd get there by the end of the race, but now it's Arnaud who gets to attack with the DRS. Do you know what?
That, by the way,
we might still get a
scrap. This race.
Might still get a nice wee scrapper because he's all over us again.
Khalifa got a second warning on the last lap.
Probably on the grass.
He has no more in hand.
Here comes
I'm not sure
Arnaud
if it was
again.
on the grass.
Here he goes again. This is where it starts to get dirty, folks. We're at the business end of the season now, and Arnaud's going around the outside. Will there be more contact? Oh, he's just going to get clean through.
Move.
But
Khalifa has the DRS.
And he'll cave ahead. Now, what does Arnaud do? He's really running out of opportunities now. He's running out of options. He is now facing his championship rival and losing. And it's all because he stayed out a couple of extra laps. If he just stayed out one less lap on that last pit stop, he might have been out a second clear when they came out of the pits. So we could have been looking at a completely different story. But no, this is where we are at the moment. He's got to get by and still make 3 seconds, or Khalifa's got to get a penalty and Arnaud's got to get by. It does look like it's all stacked in Khalifa's favour at the minute.
Yeah, until he gets a penalty, then all of a sudden, you know, everything's equal again. And just imagine now if we get some sort of Senna Prost situation, they take each other out, Janel wins. What happens then? My goodness. Anything's possible. And Janel is closing in on these two. Yes, he has all those penalties. Here goes Arnaud. Knows he doesn't get the inside. Has to go the long way around. Again, gives contact the DRS. Again. Oh! Yeah, contact again. And this time, once again, more contact there. The banging wheels once more.
He's
but Khalifa on DRS. Yeah, he's going to go for it.
Down the inside.
He's a bit late.
Contact.
He gives it. Yeah, he shoves him right back.
Here's Arnaud. Arnaud's arriving on the scene. He's got to make 6 seconds on Khalifa if he wants his championship. That's quite the ass, but who knows? Are these two getting so close?
It's 9 seconds now. The Janel.
Oh, is it 9? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Good luck.
Kyle's 22nd down the road. If these three get together, Kyle, who's been absent in this final stint, he's in with a chance of the championship too. It's still a championship 4, isn't it? This race isn't over. 6 to go as we come up to the line.
See, Arnaud's starting to pull away again.
It's the damage, I think.
I don't know, if I'm him, I'm sort of luring Khalifa back to me and trying to slow him down even more. Get Janel involved, get those two scrapping, and try to pull away myself. Because right now, Arnaud sitting at front like this isn't really doing much good for him right now, because he clearly has been able to prove he can't pull away like this. He's got to push Khalifa into fighting Janel now, because there's not enough time just to pull away anymore. He's got to have those two slowing each other down.
Yeah, but that's so risky. I mean, you could end up with exactly... Yeah, I mean, he's got to lose the championship.
But he's already losing it. You know?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And like
but
Dexter's
still, maybe
he's...
Exactly, maybe he's looking at Dexter as his opportunity
there.
Wow. And Dexter's going off a little bit. That might... no, Dexter pulling out of the way for all 3 of them.
Yeah, this is now it, Arnaud. You've got to slow this down. You've got to do a Hamilton in Abu Dhabi. We know the script. We've seen it done before.
Dexter has no idea what's going on, does he? He's just getting out of the way.
He's just having his own time. Wait till he sees this one back.
He just wants to watch
the situation.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Kyle gets a
penalty.
Well, there you go. It's Khalifa the only one who hasn't got a penalty. Of course, one more penalty, or one more warning, sorry, and it's Khalifa with another penalty. Arnaud, much easier to get that one to happen, I'd say. Just push him wide at one of the corners. You can do that in this league, though. This is it. You've got to think outside the box here. Think outside the track limits. That's where you've got to have Khalifa off, because right now this isn't doing it for you. Sure, maybe he's thinking, oh, the morals, I don't want to win the championship by cheating. Just win the championship, man.
Arnaud and Khalifa have history, I think, back to Holland, Zandvoort, Season 2, and Brazil, Season 1. That they do like coming together, and if they come together here, it's a special retirement day for Janel, who's only half a second behind Khalifa.
Yeah, but he has to watch out that he doesn't get tangled up in it as well. I mean, think about it, half a second behind. If all of a sudden they spin into... There you go. If all of a sudden they start spinning into each other and Jano can't avoid it, you know, we've got a big one on the main straight potentially, and then it's going to be Kyle who's laughing the hardest.
I would be as well. 21 seconds back as well.
Yeah.
I really don't get what
you'd have 3 cars limping, if they can, limping to the line. But it's all ifs and buts right now. We are looking at what's actually happening, and right now Khalifa is still firmly in the driver's seat for this one with only 3.5 laps to go.
I mean, Arnold should know that Khalifa's going to be feeling the nerves right now. So play to that. You know, start making him feel uncomfortable. Right now, Khalifa's feeling pretty comfortable with this because he knows Arnold's pulling away. He's like, I'm happy with this because Jano's not passing me, and you're not letting me get close enough to crash into you or make any mistakes. So he'll just sit there. Arnold's handing this to Khalifa on a plate. He's relying on a Khalifa mistake, and that's not really been happening so far today.
Yeah, I gotta say, I would be backing him up a little bit as well myself. I don't understand why he's not doing it. Maybe because he thinks, Jano almost goes at the back of Khalifa very late on the brakes. This might be the chance. Jano has this massive tire advantage.
He's passing.
Yeah, he's going for it. Jano has a massive tire advantage. That could be the opportunity for Arnaud to potentially pull the gap if Jano gets past, which he does. And now the gap
over a second straight away to Khalifa. Yeah. So now what do they do? Because Arnaud can now start trying to pull away from Khalifa. But now it's Janel that they're going to be worrying about. And Janel, he's sort of not really a factor in terms of winning it himself now, unless these two come together. So what does he do? Just stuck in the middle? Does he pass Arnaud?
I think Janel goes for the win in his final ever race. And then hope that Arnaud and Khalifa have some sort of massive moment with 2 laps and a third to go at the final here in the Cup Series.
If I was Janel, I'd go for the move on Arnaud as soon as I can. If I was Arnaud, I'd actually let him by. Not let him by. Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't fight it. Let's say that I wouldn't fight it and hope that I'm still about a second ahead of Khalifa by the time that happens. Look at this, Janel getting so close now. Less than 4/10. He's gaining more and more. Khalifa cannot pull along. He cannot continue. I think here down the next straight, Arnaud is going to let Janel by and hope that Janel pulls him along a little bit. And maybe the 3 seconds are going to be driven out that way. Khalifa, meanwhile, not doing any mistakes on track limits, but he still has a lap and a half to go. He can't afford a single mistake here on track limits. He has to be so careful, and that might be his downfall. He's got a 1.2 second gap right now to Arnaud. If he takes it all too careful, then the gap might open up. And it's only 1 lap, and it's a short lap as well, but anything can happen. Janel is putting a lot of pressure on Arnaud. Again, Arnaud should not fight this too much. Sure, he wants to win on track, but he sees the penalties on Janel. It doesn't matter if you let him by.
Here we go then. Final lap of the season. Janel all over Arnaud. I think he will get the move done. He will win on track.
1.1. Khalifa's out of it. Janel with a massive moment.
Yeah, Janel, big moment. But, you know, Khalifa has to lose another 1.5 seconds still. It's quite a big ask, especially if Janel starts fighting here, and he is going to start fighting. This isn't working out right now. Arnaud's got to DRS himself past Yuri, but it's not really happening. Yuri's got to sort of think about moving out of the way here, because Janel's all over the back of Arnaud. And Arnaud, well, do you know what? That gap's 2 seconds. It's 2 point. What's happening with the gap? I think Khalifa got held up. Khalifa got held up. He was in traffic.
Falling off a thing.
No, he was in traffic. That's what's done him.
Oh he was in traffic behind Dexter.
Oh, this might be close. Arnaud, it's 1.7, 1.8. I don't think it's enough. I really don't think it's enough. Yuri is ignoring the blue flags. Arnaud's all over the show. He's going to come around the final corner. And unless Khalifa is a complete disaster, it's going to be the championship. There are yellow flags. Arnaud's crossed the line, but Khalifa has done it. He's won the race, and he is your champion of Season 3. The man he lost out by only a couple of tenths in Season 1. His redemption arc. What a long redemption arc it was. He has done it. Khalifa is the JACKOCAR Cup Series champion for Season 3. And the winner of Race 50, just for good measure.
Race win number 11 as well for the all-time stats, and that will be undisputed as well. I mean, there's I doubt there's going to be any stewarding to go with that, because it was all Arnold pushed him off the track, and they sort of gave as good as each other in the end, didn't they?
We got some donuts being done by Jordan. You know what? Is he trying to do donuts, or is he just messing about? Give us some donuts, lad.
He's picking up a penalty.
Does he think we're not watching him? What is he up to? Because I mean, we were here a while before they were all finished, because the front guys were so far ahead. Go on, do some donuts. There we go.
He's going to do some donuts.
There we go.
Just like he did on Tuesday night.
We were watching Jordan first. We were patient for you. There we go. Some lovely
Yori's doing an excellent job in the final turn.
Well, we'll have a look at him as well. Oh yes, he is doing a good job, isn't he? He's choosing a much nicer part of the track to do it on. Penalties galore.
A fantastic end to season 3.
I do wonder what Arnold's going to think about that one, because I do feel there were ways he could have won that. It would have meant being quite unsportsmanlike, but maybe he didn't feel like doing it. Maybe he wanted to be a clean fight. Maybe there's a reason I don't race anymore. But, yeah. But oh well.
Owen Prost.
Yes. Well, do you know what? It's fully deserved from Khalifa. I mean, 16th to 1st. The championship with it. Redemption for season 1 when he lost out by just a couple of tenths. And what a way to end the season. At the end of the day, it was 4 championship contenders in the top 4. And they absolutely wiped the floor with the rest of the field, proving that they are by far the best drivers on the grid this season. They have fully earned their spots. And yeah, it's a very nice way to end the season. And let's go through your order then. So it's Khalifa, the only guy with no penalty in the finishing results. I guess it makes sense he's the winner. He got fastest lap as well. He really has done it for everybody there. He's absolutely fully deserved that. On a 100% race as well, he has absolutely put in the shift to win the championship for season 3. Arnold 2nd, Janel 3rd, and Kyle 4th. Good performances from all of them all season. They've all deserved their spots today. And yeah, look at that. 56 seconds behind the race leader Kieran was in the end. Wow. And it's a massive gap. It was nearly 30 seconds to Kyle. But behind that it is Pete, Jamie, the outgoing champion, and the season 1 champion Pete. SD Madsen 8th, Iceman 9th, and Yuri 10th. Dexter 11th, Cam 12th, with Risky 13th, Camo 14th, Bazza 15th, Jordan 16th, Gaza 17th, and then the retirements Corey and OKK. So then, another season over. 50 races complete. 100 subscribers finally. Woohoo! What do you think, Jacko? Ready to go for this all over again next season?
I think with the easing of lockdown restrictions and COVID becoming less of a thing, I think we should enjoy a nice summer break. But late August, we'll be back for season 4 Cup and Kia Series. But yeah, good ending to the season. Khalifa, finally a champion. Missed out on the season 1 title by 0.3 of a second, and now won this one by 0.3 of a second, I think. So
1.3.
Was it 1.3? Ah,
yeah, it was 1.3.
Close enough. Don't ruin what I was trying to say there, Austin.
And that is Austin fired.
And that's Andy back in the guest seat next season.
For next season. But now on a level, thanks Austin for being here. Hope you enjoyed your stay, and I hope we'll see you again in the future. We always see you around here at some point, but always good to have you in the box.
Yeah, appreciated that one. That was quite an interesting race. I love doing 100% races. I would love to do it more. But yeah, that was very fun. Thanks for inviting me, Jacko. Thanks for having me, guys. That was an enjoyable one.
And so that is it then. Hope everyone has enjoyed the season. Hope everyone has enjoyed the first 50 races of JACKOCAR. And I hope you'll all be back next season, where we get to do it all over again on the brand new game, I'll assume. And yeah, we do have budget here, so let's hope everyone's got enough to get the new game. Last thing we need to have everyone having issues with that. I mean, they're all paying for go-karting, so they should be fine. But
yeah, that'd be right.
Yeah. So we'll see you next season. I don't know if we'll be having any summer stuff like we did last time with the F2, but if there is, you'll probably see me again. But yeah,
I think it's going to be a total shutdown where we're all looking forward to a nice
lovely.
break. And then,
Get it. I mean,
back in August, Cup Series, but Season 4 sign-ups are open.
Right. Well, now I've got to figure out how to end this stream because I've never done this before. Let's figure this out. Thank you all for watching, and I don't know how long this is going to last, but we'll see you next season. And do ignore how long this might take to close because I don't know what I'm doing. Safe travels.
Goodbye.
Well, that's where it is. Right, safe travels. Goodbye. Thanks to